Let's walk through how to put ceilings and a roof in your affordable housing design project. So my roof and ceilings are going to be a little different than yours, but at least you can see some of the tools that are used to create some of these things. So I'm going to go ahead and move to level 1 floor plan. And on this, you're going to see that we could go ahead and go to the architecture tab and find the ceiling command in the build panel. With that, you're going to see that you have automatic ceiling is what first gets selected. We just want to go to the gypsum wallboard on wood stud. This is a file type that's already, or a family type, I should say, that's already loaded in this project. And then you have a height offset, which is 8 feet from level 1. So when you go to click inside, you're going to see that there's a red bounding box that picks up the boundaries of your room. So if I click it, you actually get a little warning that says, hey, none of these things are active in the view. So that's why the ceiling plan is there. If I go to level 1 ceiling plan, I can see everything else is kind of half tone a little bit. And now I can go ahead and kind of put some of the ceilings in. So if I select ceiling, this is the master bedroom. I'm going to leave this one alone. Bathroom and closet, bedroom with a closet, bathroom, same thing, another bedroom and closet, and then the main living area. I'm going to do an automatic ceiling for all those. And once I'm finished, I can go ahead and cancel. If I go to my 3D view, I'm going to see here's all of the, looks like I missed the little linen closet, but I can go ahead and add those things in. So if I go to the level 1 ceiling plan, I'm going to go ahead and add that in, and then I'm going to actually do a vaulted ceiling. So if any of you are interested in doing a vaulted ceiling, this is kind of the process. So let me go ahead and drop that one in there. So that's with automatic ceiling. In order to do a vault, I'm going to do a sketch ceiling. And I'm actually going to create two kind of boundaries here. So I'm going to do a rectangle, and about halfway in the middle of the room, I'm going to go ahead and place a rectangle to represent like one part of our ceiling. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel a couple times. And then that way I'm going to select this line, and you'll see there's a define slope option. So if you remember from using roofs, we can actually define the slope. So maybe we want to go ahead and do a slope of about 312, just to kind of put some slope in there. And I'm going to hit the green check mark. If I go to my 3D view, you're going to see there is the ceiling, and that's how it's going to be sloped up and kind of meeting like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to level 1 ceiling plan. I'm going to create another ceiling that is sketched with a rectangle. And I'm going to go ahead and just pick on this corner and make it meet to the middle of the other panel. Again, I can hit cancel twice, select the right side line, define the slope, and then go ahead and change that slope over to a 312 to make it match what we have going on with the other one. Green check mark to finish. And if I go to my 3D view, you can see this is going to kind of be the look of it. If I go ahead and go back to level 1, my level 1 floor plan, just to be specific, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to drop a camera in this room, and then that way you can kind of see what it looks like. So if I zoom out and just kind of pull this up, you can see this is going to be what if I change to realistic, there's going to be the vaulted ceiling that's kind of going to be in our master bedroom. Now you're going to see there's a little bit of an opening there. We'll fix that when we go to put the roof in, which is going to be our next step. So I'm going to go ahead and go to level 2 floor plan. And with that, I'm going to click off just to have anything there. You're going to see level 2, everything else is kind of half tone except for the boundaries of the ceiling, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and go to roof by footprint. Same kind of thing. I'm going to define the slope, make sure the overhang's set to 1 foot, and choose the wood raft or asphalt shingle type. So I'm going to pick walls. I'm going to choose these outside walls first for the design of my roof, and I'm just going to pick these little short segments. I'm going to uncheck define slope for the parts that I don't want to be sloping, and I'll just pick the remaining walls to create this closed loop. Again, everything looks like it's connected well, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the green check mark and go to our 3D view. There's the design of our roof. I'm going to go ahead and change the slope down to a 512. And now here comes the real work, is that we need to make sure that if I select this wall and if I go attach to the top and select the roof, that attaches very nicely. If I do that here and go to attach to the top and then select this roof, you'll notice that it stops as soon as it gets to that wall. So we still have a kind of an opening here in our building that we don't want to have happen. So I'm going to go ahead and select this wall and say detach, top/base, select the roof. And I'm actually going to move to the level 2 floor plan once more. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a wall, an exterior wall, And you're going to see here's where our wall is. I'm going to kind of draw over it. I'm going to go ahead and purposely overshoot it just a little bit, not to a specific length, just to make sure that it's going to cover up that hole. And what I got to have going on here is I'm going to select this wall, and I just want to make sure that I align the outside edge of this wall with the outside edge of this wall that I just drew. And I'm going to lock those in place. And this is going to make a big difference when we go into our next steps. So here's that wall. You'll see it fills up the opening. I'm going to select the wall, attach top, select my roof, and you'll see that looks really good. Now, the only thing is I have this definitive line between those two walls. So I'm actually going to go ahead and in the Modify tab, if I go over here to Join under the Geometry panel, I can actually join this wall and the top portion. And once I do, you can see that line's going to disappear. So that's the reason why we wanted to make sure the outside edges of those walls are lined up. However, you see here's this problem, is we just need to extend the roof over to cover over the top. So if I select the roof, I can go up here and then choose the Join Unjoin Roof option. I'm going to choose the slanted edge there of the roof, and then I want to choose this. I want it to be here at the edge. You'll see the blue highlight. When I see the blue highlight, I'm going to click. And then that way it's going to move that roof over and make that connection. Now, a couple things. These two walls I need to attach. So I'm going to go ahead and attach top to base. And then same thing on this longer one. Even though they look like they're attached, they still have a little bit of a gap underneath them if they're not. So, all right. So there finishes that. That looks good. I'm going to rotate around to the back, and it's going to kind of be a lot of the same kind of repetition in the sense of I'm just going to, attach this wall. This one's going to attach nicely. And I'm just going to go to level 2, and very similar. I'm going to go ahead and find that wall that it's going to be on top of and purposely draw over the top here, making sure that when I align, I choose the outside edge of this wall and this one. Looks like I did a pretty good job on that, but still want to make sure that everything looks good. Okay. 3D view. Again, select the wall, attach to the top for the roof. All right, again, just to join, I'm going to select this wall, join, and then pick. If multiple join is on, I'm going to uncheck that, and then select this and this. And there we go. Everything looks good. So now, same thing on this one. I'm going to pick the join, unjoin roof, pick the edge, and then if I need to rotate around a little bit, there we go. I see the outline. Once I see it, I'm good to go. All right, so this takes care of my roof construction that I went ahead and did. And now the only thing is that I'm going to take one more look at my camera view. You're going to see now, because of that wall that I put in, it runs right through the vaulted ceiling. So all I've got to do is in this view is I'm going to select the wall there, and I'm going to go ahead and say attach, and then choose attach base. And then I'm going to choose the left panel on the ceiling. You'll notice that it'll clean that up for us. I'm going to do the same thing for the right panel, attach the base, choose the right panel, and then that'll disappear. And now we end up having our vaulted ceiling here in our master bedroom, or any other room that you would want to have if you're going for a vaulted ceiling. So this is going to finish up how to fully enclose our affordable home design and putting ceilings in. So now you can place like lighting fixtures and everything on those ceilings, and also finishing up how to, just a little review on how to do a roof connection and some of the different settings to do some really neat kind of designs for your affordable home design.